Welcome to the Dino Cinema. Uh, okay, a few things I need to address before we get into the episode. First off, I need to try to start emphasizing, at least when I say welcome to the Dino Cinema, I need to try to emphasize the T in two, because sometimes I say it so soft my mic doesn't pick it up. It sounds like I'm just saying welcome the Dino Cinema. So that's one thing. Second thing, I need to start trying to talk softer on stream and in my videos for health reasons. Because I'll be able to do this stuff longer and with more energy. Ironically, if I lower my energy levels. So let's move the mic closer just to be safe. But yeah, I need to just try to start doing this because it's getting much harder here in Texas right now, and my energy levels have been lower. So in order to, not die, I need to watch my energy levels a little bit. So there's that. Also wanted to give a shout out to the latest Patreon member. I haven't gotten a new Patreon member that wasn't like a family member in years. So yeah, if y'all want to join the new Patreon member, links in the description. You get to watch my reactions uncut without all the copyright filters and stuff. So you can actually hear and see the episode properly along with me. And also, I think I'm going to do some Patreon exclusive videos. So, for example, I don't remember if I talked about this in a previous video. If you just want to skip to the reaction, there should be a timestamp. But like, I want to do like a breakdown video for the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, or like 3 different videos. Universal is notoriously really bad with copyright, so I'm not even going to bother trying to edit that down for YouTube. So those are going to be like Patreon exclusive videos. And they should be pretty long, so if you want to hear me yap about Jurassic Park, which I'm not even going to make notes or anything beforehand, I just... If I just go into a Jurassic Park movie with the pretense of I'm going to talk about this in a video, it's gonna be... that's gonna be like a 5-hour long video per movie. It's gonna be... I'm gonna be pausing a lot and doing a lot of ranting, so yeah. Subscribe and go follow the Patreon. Literally anything I post to Patreon until further notice is gonna be like $1. Like I'm not... I don't think I'm gonna make anything inaccessible to the $1 tier. So yeah. As for Richeh Atelier, this is the penultimate episode. Next week is gonna be the last reaction. Very bittersweet. Mostly bitter. I guess the sweet part would just be the fact that I got to watch the show at all and I got to react to the show at all. So, I've already gone on a tangent before about how special this show has been for me. In the different ways it's helped build up my confidence as a creator, and just like talking about media off the cuff, and just how much I've enjoyed the story overall. It's already like probably like a top 10 anime for me in that regard. It's had a certain impact on me. I really appreciate it for that. Agat and Richeh are probably going to be going through a lot in this episode. They are literally like venturing into the dark, and they both have stuff they need to work out. And I feel like they're going to be like facing their demons this episode. So that's what I expect is going to happen. And hopefully we'll get some development from Euini, I think his name was. Poor kid. Like, not only his teacher, master, I think they're called masters, um an asshole and sees Euini as like worthless, but Euini buys into that and is like very apologetic, and that's no bueno. We need Euini to not be like that. Be more independent. But yeah, it's really interesting that the penultimate episode involves Coco not taking part in the action. But then the Brimmed Caps were saying like they were gonna catch Coco when she wasn't around her master, but Coco's not taking the test. So, it's interesting that this close to the finale, Coco's not very involved right now. But I imagine something's gonna go awry and everyone's gonna be involved in some way. But who knows? We'll see how the story goes. Right now.
昔、この岬の洞窟には、セモノオン洞国という豊かな国があった。魔
Ooh.
法の金細工を身にまとい、尊大な態度を隠そう洞窟の外の国や、そこから訪れとは分けて考え、見下していた。ロモノオンの豊かさに噂が噂を呼び、知り得た頃、 彼らにとって益のある選ばれた者のみが通れる。だ。そし
Oh.
てその道を通ることを許されないに決してたどり着けないよう窟に迷宮の魔法を刻んだんだ。ロモノーンはさらに美しく
So
豊か
pretty.
になったが、になり、ある時から互いの価値を選別し始めた。そして無益とされたものは価値なき魔法で街を飾る金細工に変えられたんだ。
What?
流れの止まった水が濁るよう閉ざされたロモノーンはよどんでいった。国の内側で憎み合い疲れ、最後は山のような金細工の重みで崩壊した後にはただ蛇の背の道と。
Damn, I wasn't expecting all that lore for this.
人は本当に恐ろしい、簡単に恐ろしいことができてしまうの
Yeah,
だ。
you would know, Keyfree.
でも先生、法は人を幸せにするものですよね。誰かを助けたり世界を彩る
君たち未来の魔法使いがそう思って。そうだね、大丈夫だ。でもこの魔法は今日のご飯に魔法は世界を彩るための力。そう願うよ、本当にそう願う。
I apologize to the Patreon people, by the way. You're probably just sitting here seeing me say nothing. I woke up at like 4 a.m. I can't really think of anything to say about the episode or last episode. I mean, yeah, basically what I said earlier is like, I think that the things that Agat and Richeh are dealing with right now are going to be addressed in the cave in some form. I think it's going to be a trial that's going to specifically like make them face those things. They're probably both going to be deeply challenged, but I imagine they'll come out of it. I'm far oversimplifying something that's probably going to be very emotionally intense, but the thing too, I think I've already pretty much given all my thoughts on Agat. Richey's whole deal, I'm still having a hard time figuring out why she is the way she is, but let's find out.
私は試験監督だから。
くねくねしてるけど、ずっと先までこんなの。飛んでいけばすぐ終わ。
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, can't you just fly through? But it can't be that easy.
危ない。
See, he is useful.
お向きに立ってる。あなたの魔法なの。
この道の魔法、空間がぐちゃぐちゃになってるこの洞窟で、いつ水平な正解の道は、ここから足を踏み外すと、洞窟迷宮に入り口に逆戻りしてしまうんだ。
まして蛇の鱗の石畳は
So essentially, you don't want to fall off of
全部魔
the
法陣
path, so you can't just fly over it.
ところどころひび割れて崩れてる。
だから僕、一度目の試験は、ここでの正解は基礎魔法教。
あの魔法ね。水は重力に従って流れ、止まってたまる。魔法陣がまだ生きている箇所だけが水が表面にたまるところが。
Oh yeah, because not all of them are intact, so the path isn't going to be stable. Damn, okay. She figured that out quick.
正しい答え、正しい魔法、正しい道。そこから外れたらダメなんて。そうやりたくないの。
ほら、リチェリット、無駄な魔法ばかり書いて。そんなんじゃまっとうな魔法使いになれない。どうして先生の言う通りにできないんだ。こんな落書きは。
Wait, is that the guy from before? Is that Euini's master? I don't think it was. Yeah, this guy was an asshole too.
リチェはリチェを捨てたくない。そのためには。
Yeah, she's like very emotionally attached to the spells she makes.
分かったけど、メルフォンがついてきてくれないわ。
Like, there's a certain breed of creative people that get like very, like, their like sense of self-worth is deeply tied to their creativity. And I get the sense that maybe Richeh is like that.
メルフォンは仲間と鳴き声で、だからこの子たちについてきて表明の魔法で鳴き声に似た音を出すの。
魔法に正解なんて決めないで。こうじゃなきゃダメって決まりなんてない。
Oh, are they like mesmerized by the...
正解ってうるさい。先回りして解説するのも、リチェはリチェになりたいの。じゃない魔法使いになりたいわけじゃない。法だけで、この道の出口まで行ってみせ。
She's goaded.
それは、でも中にはそんなの通用し、だって試験の問題なんだから、黒は未熟者で見習いで。
Oh, Euini is like literally the complete opposite of Richeh.
また落ちちゃうよ。っていうか、
Like word for word says
そういうものだからって決められるのが嫌なの。
でも
Yeah.
他の人が試してない魔法は
できるようにやればできる。
失敗を覚えていたら知恵にもなる。生かしたら糧になる。そういう学び方してる子を一人知ってる。リチェのやりたいようにやればいい。私には関係ない。
アガットに言われなくてもそうする。
何の音？水？
Sounds like a waterfall.
僕は、お前には無理だ。お前にはできない。僕もそう思う。 だから僕以外の人のやり方を。でもやっぱり無理なんだ。だってここはロモの
Broke.
王様が選ばれな。
ここギフリー先生、今日って他の
Oh,
二人する
oh
んですか？
shit.
帰ってしまったし、いないと思うけど。
今あっちにローブ姿の誰か
Oh, no, don't go by yourself. Oh shit.
誰もいるわけない。
Yeah, it's this fucker. It's the fucker that sounds like Andy Serkis.
流れ落ちた水が途中から道が途切れていたら石畳の効果もないってことね。どうにかしてここを渡らなきゃ。リチェ、
魔法陣の効果があるのは、だから石の上をあっちの道まで伸ばす。
Stand the stones?
こんな風に。
Oh my god. Oh my god.
石のリボンを
Why are these like 12-year-olds smarter than me?
できないこと、できるやり方に
What a goat.
そのままじゃ。
Yeah, that works too. That's a lot more practical than Richey's. Richey was like, yeah, let me just like swing across like Tarzan.
範囲は狭いけど。
上がった。
やっぱりマントのにすぐ消えてしまうわね。もっともっと頑張らないと。
次はお前の番だろ。
やっぱりできない。向いてないんだ。才能も時は
The bird is just like, what are you
道が崩れ
crashing out? We gotta go.
回もきっとダメなんだ。
あなた、最初から分析もうんちくも2度の経験と知識を生かさなくて何でもいいから書いてみなさい。鳴き声の魔法。たまりを作る。なんでもう通り過ぎたところの魔法なのよ。渡れないのに。
いけないんだ。
はあ？
手の震えが止まらなくなっちゃう。誰かがいるところで書いたときは見られてると思うと汗かいて出てプレて。
Yeah, he can't work under pressure.
魔法ばかり。僕だってなんとかしたいけどどうしようもないんだ。それに見られるとますますダメになっちゃう。今度こそ先へ進もうと必要になりそうな正解の魔法を。
Mmm.
まだ
You can't draw anything new.
なら陣を閉じるだけで発動見えるかもって思って。
Wow. God, that is so relatable. Being so
正しいやり方じゃ
anxious
ない
about
か
how people are gonna perceive you, like
なんで
trying to
いつも
prepare in
そう
advance
なんだろう。身になりたいって言っ
to be like, to be able to do better
できるなら僕は
when you're
やりたい。
actually around them.
僕じゃない。
And
これは
why is it all like the boy witches are gonna like, cut me on like the verge of tears in this show?
者たちの前でもバレずに魔法を使う。悪いけどあの様子じゃ何度やっても受かるとは。
ユイニーはユイニーのままでできる。今自分で答え気づいてないの。今一人になればいいじゃん。
でも
どうやってでも雨を降らせたりできるんだもん。一人になれる部屋でも何でも作れるはず。
魔法が書けないんだけど。
じゃあ
急に
Hide behind your hair.
僕
Won't be hard. There you go. Can you imagine being, well, some of y'all probably don't have to imagine, because I know I don't have to. Like being that age and feeling like wanting to be someone and other than yourself. That feeling, for me, that feeling went on for until relatively recently, I will be honest.
呆れてるだろうな。バレてるかも。な姿外から見たら滑稽だろう。僕だって想像したら
Characters like this are like, it's people like this in general, the ones that deal with this stuff, like they're the bravest souls out of all of us, to be honest. Like characters that come across as cowards, where it's like, damn, this person like really is like, or like on the outside, you're like, damn, this person is like a coward. But like the fact that these people choose to live, you know, despite the fact that they give up a lot and they're not very outgoing, like those are the people that are the bravest out of anyone, to be honest.
現れてない。呆れたり笑ったり僕自身以外はできるようにやればできる。今ここで僕にできないっての鏡に映った僕だけだったんだ。
Wow.
鏡。影狩りの鏡マントの魔法陣。鏡っていうよりの矢と反射の矢の応用でいる人の姿を隠して影にしてから今度は獣の巨像を投影する魔法いいな。複数の重ね書きしてこれなら僕もしかして
Gonna redraw that spell. Huge.
ユイニ見ろ、風の盾を張る。ロモノンの罠か、あるいは未知の古代魔法。
大丈夫です。これ
ユイニ。
お前そのま
中に潜ったら影狩りの鏡マントの鏡の部分の魔法だけ消して影狩りでなら暗闇に紛れて隠れたテレフォンからも見えなくなるから声を真似した音魔法があるし彼ら
まあ一応な。
伏せたら一人になれる。もう人目も怖くない。これなら書けるかも。
Huh. Wow, and then look how fast he can just make a new spell when he knows he can't be perceived.
でも多分これが僕なのかも。
こと嫌じゃない。
ちょっとだけ
次は無理とかダメとかすぐ言わないで全然ダメじゃないから。
ちゃうかも。でもありがとうリチェさん。
あなたは他人に興味がないんだと。
ユイニーは最初リチェを助けてくれ。やりたいのにできないときリチェもわかるから。
できない自分が嫌なのなんて当然だから成長できるのよ。私は私以上の私になる。好きになるなんてありえないわ。
試験は自分を知るためのものだけど、魔法の書き方はみんなそれが自分の方法を探り、こういうのの繰り返しでな。試験もそんなに悪くないだろう。
キーフリー先生が嘘ついて受けさせ許さない。怒りチェポイント1だから。
Angry. What?
そうだ、キーフリー。
I wonder what the dub's gonna call that.
あいつ最近何か。
Oh, they're gonna pick everyone off. Oh shit.
バリボンの言葉を聞くな。惑わさ全力で逃げろ。
God damn it. They got our girl. My girl. Y'all can't have her. Well, the Brimcaps have her. I'm gonna kill somebody. That's crazy waste. That's a crazy place to end that, dude. That felt like the shortest episode ever. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. So yeah, their plan is to like pick off the teachers. Oh, brother. Yeah, I just got so like enthralled into Euini's story that episode just went by like that. Yeah, I relate deeply to Euini's struggle. I think just like in the last few episodes, I'm just gonna jump straight into the dub and just do my breakdown over the dub instead of doing like a big breakdown section in between the sub and dub, because it'll be easier to find things to talk about while I'm watching the dub. Because I don't mind like pausing the dub constantly. I try not to pause when I'm reacting to the sub because it's my first time seeing the episode at all. So I try not to pause too much, but for the dub, I don't care. Forbidden. The last episode is called Forbidden Magic. That's crazy, dude. What if like somebody like one of the good guys ends up using Forbidden Magic to save everybody else? That would be fucking crazy, dude. Oh man, I feel like that's something key. I feel like either Keyfree or Coco are most likely to use Forbidden Magic, because then it's like, how are they gonna justify that? You know, what if they get caught doing it? Because it's like, well, I had to save everybody. It's like, yes, but you used Forbidden Magic, dude. That would be fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, this was another one of those episodes that was so densely packed with stuff, but it felt short. It's one of those like weird episodes where it's like, it felt like nothing happened, but actually a lot happened. This whole thing about like the horrors that come from humanity's ability to wield magic kind of feeds into what I just said about somebody possibly using Forbidden Magic in the next episode to save everyone, or to save someone. And the sort of, I think that's going to be a theme that's going to be explored throughout this series, is like humanity, the witches in this story have like, I think they've overreacted to the power of magic, and now they're very strict about how it's used because of the horrors that come from it. But I also think there's a lot of good that could be done from being able to use Forbidden Magic. Like, outright banning Forbidden Magic, I feel like is probably preventing a lot of very productive things to be done. However, the way I'm talking right now, honestly, that's probably, the way I'm talking right now is probably like exactly how the Brimmed Caps feel. Maybe. I don't know like how evil they are, or like, I'm still not exactly sure about their motivations. Like, if they are just like straight up just like, and you know, they probably don't all think exactly the same way, but I don't know if like generally like they think like the justification for using Forbidden Magic, and that's why they hate the witches, because the witches are so strict, and the Brimmed Caps are thinking that magic could be way more useful, could have a lot more positive applications if the forbidden stuff wasn't, well, forbidden. Or if they just don't care about anybody or anything and just want to be evil. I don't know. But yeah, I do generally think that someone's gonna take that stance at some point of like, hey, we need to be using this stuff for good. I know it's like it can be dangerous, but somebody needs to be using it for good. And if y'all won't do it, I will. Like I think that's gonna become it's gonna become a talking point at some point in the series.
I fear this particular magic may bring unhappiness.
That was just like a funny little moment. However, Witch Hat I noticed uses these like comedic moments to foreshadow things. I can't remember where else it used it, but I remember there was another scene at some point that used like a comedic moment to like foreshadow something. The fact that Coco got really, I can't think of the word, but she got very into the idea of magic being a positive thing, despite hearing about the horrors of it. And then, meanwhile, the magic that she might have even drawn to cook their food here ended up like nearly burning and ruining their food. You know, maybe that's saying that Coco's gonna get a little too caught up in the idea of all magic, you know, being good. And maybe that's gonna backfire at some point. As we're getting deeper into this series, I'm finding it's actually becoming harder for me to just talk about the series, because I feel like I've already touched on so many different things, and with the series coming to a close, it's introducing, I don't know, I feel like I'm just having a harder time finding lengthy things to go on about the closer we get to the end. I don't know if that's just me or if that's just, I think I've just maybe gotten to a point with the series where I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I don't want to just like retread things I've already mentioned, I guess.
If there's one thing I don't want, it's to follow someone else's idea of what's correct.
Why is the voice acting so good? Like, dude, what the fuck is the point in life? Yeah, I totally get Richey's point of view. What is the point in life if we all just live the exact same way and do the same thing? It's like whatever like what's so wrong with like just like doing random shit that we enjoy. You know what I mean? Like this show is so raw. Like it literally it is not afraid to just get into these psychology, these characters who, it's just like we've all been there with the way a lot of these characters are. Because Euini just has like no sense of self-confidence or self-worth, because he can only function when he isn't being perceived by other people. And I used to be really bad about that. Like, I was actually kind of the opposite of Euini, like, to where, well, I don't know, because I used to be pretty bad about working under pressure, and I still am. Although I don't really have people in my life that pressure me anymore. Yeah, so like I relate to Euini, but also I didn't used to do things in private at all creatively, just because my sense of my existence for the longest time used to just revolve around helping people, and it's because I was taught by my environment that people are only good for how they can service other people, and not ever putting any of that care into myself. So I didn't even do what Euini does, where I would like prepare things in advance before it. Well, I guess I'd prepare things in advance beforehand, but I didn't like do anything specifically like creative all that much, like in private, I guess. Although to be fair, I guess where I relate to Euini is that I don't think he really enjoys being in the dark. It seemed like the spells that he did in Solitude were ones out of fear, and I don't think he enjoyed that process at all. I don't think he allowed himself to enjoy that process, and yeah, I definitely used to be there. Her voice acting is so powerful there. Yeah, Richey's overall like mindset is very strong. That's a really good mindset to have, well, at any stage in your life, but to have that mindset that young, it's very good. That's gonna be good for future development. However, I think she does need to be, she's kind of contradicting herself by not being, she's open-minded in the way of not wanting to use magic so rigidly, but the fact that she doesn't want to use anyone else's magic at all, I feel like is not great. I feel like Richeh maybe is lacking in the empathy department. I think because the problem Richeh is kind of doing what the larger witch society does, where it's like an aspect of magic, and how it affected them, had a negative impact, had a significant negative impact. Therefore, fuck all that shit. Fuck anything related to that. So like, the witches with forbidden magic, right? In Richey's case, it's people tried to teach me spells that I don't like because they're not. They're the rigid way. Therefore, fuck all of those spells. I never want to use those spells at all. But really, what Richeh needs to be doing is absolutely she should be embracing her individuality, but also like you can't use those other spells a little bit here and there. I mean, she uses the sylph shoes, so like I feel like she could do. Why can't you do both? You know, and I feel like that's probably gonna have going to make her life for herself and others unnecessarily difficult if she doesn't correct that way of thinking. So in a way, her mindset is very good, but also it's maybe leaning a little too far into individuality, because if you don't embrace the things that other people have created and only like care about what you do, then you're kind of just going to be like a burden on people. And I think at some point Richeh is going to realize that, or at least is going to be faced with that, which is kind of what I was thinking. Agat and Richeh weren't really challenged in this episode. It was mostly Euini. Interesting on the next I'm interested to see how the next episode's going to go. It's going to be the last episode of the season. I don't think this is like half a core. I think this is the whole season. It's probably going to be like a year or two before we see another season. I think the next season was already confirmed. I don't know if it has a release date, but I don't think we're gonna wait too long. I don't think it's gonna be any longer than like a couple years. It'd be cool if the next episode was like 40 something minutes. I doubt it. I don't think anime usually does that. So there's a lot that they would need to tie up. A lot that needs to be addressed in the next episode. I'm confident that it I don't know what's gonna happen in the next episode, obviously. I'm confident that whatever the author wanted to do for that chapter or that series of chapters that that episode's gonna adapt it. I have confidence that it's gonna be good. It's probably gonna exceed my expectations, to be honest. And of course, sometimes the way an anime is adapted, maybe the arc isn't even over in the next episode. So maybe it's gonna end in a way that the arc doesn't actually end in the manga because we don't get to that point yet. So we'll see. I don't remember what got me on that tangent, so I apologize if I started talking about something and didn't actually wrap up my point. I apologize. I don't know what I was talking about. I think we could all look up to Richeh in regards to her stubbornness, but I think we also need to see it as a cautionary tale in a way. We haven't really seen like the drawbacks to her stubbornness yet, but I think at some point we will. But yeah, like the way Euini lives his life. Euini. Euini. God damn it. The way he lives his life is like, it's a prime example of why Richey's stubbornness, to a degree, is a good thing to have. That drive for individuality. Because you're like Euini. I forgot how they said it. Then you're kind of just gonna be like coasting through life and not really accomplishing anything. Because if you do try to live in this rigid way that these people try to teach you, they're just gonna keep like lambasting you, I don't know if that's the right word, for not being able to achieve anything. Like, oh, we have this specific way of teaching, why can't you just do it? But it's like, you can't just teach everyone the same way. That's not how humans are far too diverse and different. Like, you can't just teach everyone the same way. Like, everyone... Like, yeah, some people can follow along those rigid systems and do okay, but at the end of the day, everyone needs to learn at their own pace and in their own style. So you can't just... You can't just, like, there's not a be-all, end-all answer for everything. Like, you just kind of need to find your own way. And, I feel like they've pretty much conquered this this test. I don't know if there's any other challenges lying ahead, but I mean, they figured out how to walk the path, and they figured out how to cross the path, all in their own ways. So unless the path changes in other ways, I feel like the brimmed cap coming in the time they did was honestly perfect, because it's like, okay, we got the test out of the way, now let's figure out the brimmed cap. The brimmed cap situation is crazy. Oh, I just saw the fucking... I didn't notice that last time. The robe going over the... Bro, I thought she was gonna get snatched here. I have a crazy... I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking, but I have a crazy follow-up to what I thought she was gonna get snatched there. I could have said something so fucked up. It would have gotten political, I'll just say that. She was gonna get taken to Brimmed Cap Island. If I knew the name of... Oh, the eyeball Brimmed Cap is on the list. There you go. I couldn't think of anyone else to say. I didn't want to say Kiefer's on the list. Fuck no. God, I love the lessons that this show learns, because it makes me think like, oh, okay, how can I apply that to my real life, you know? A lot of the stuff that this show portrays, a lot of the themes and lessons, a lot of that I've kind of experienced for myself in my own creative endeavors. Writing is the creative endeavor I'm the most locked into. It actually applies to these videos and streams I do too, where like I was the reason I started doing these reaction videos was because I saw other people doing reactions. There wasn't really like a set in stone like way I was seeing people do reactions. They all kind of did them in their own way. But at first I was like, okay, let me just do what other people do, and I wasn't really necessarily thinking about making it my own thing, because to be honest, I wasn't even sure if I was going to enjoy doing reacting videos or if I was going to be very good at it. But I have kind of like turned it into my own thing, like, you know, because like I watched the episode, I try to commentate over it as much as I can, basically just like a stream of consciousness thing when I'm watching the episode, and then after, I'll watch the dub and I'll break it down, and I've never seen another reactor do like where they watch the sub and the dub in the same video. A lot of the time they do what I used to do earlier on, where like they'll do the big breakdown after the episode. Or like with writing, for example, I'm gonna be so honest, I don't think I can do like daily writing. I just have to write when the inspiration strikes me. Like, I feel like the content creating, like these videos and my streams, these are the kind of things I can do just pretty much any time of the day, as long as my health permits. It's not like where like I sit down in front of like a blank document to write something, or even something that I've been working on. Because if I try to force myself to write, it's just like, if I'm lucky enough to get words down when I'm not like feeling inspired, the stuff I write is just like, it's just shit. It's just like boring. It's just uninspired. It's just very much me going through the motions. I know this because recently I have a writing buddy who we exchange our stuff together. There's a book I've been working on called Madalena, and it's a book that sorry I keep closing my eyes, I'm just trying to make sure I stay on track. It's a book that it's gonna be a standalone book. It's gonna be one of the few stories I'm writing where I know it's not gonna have any sequels, so it's like, okay, this could be my first published work. So I want this to be the first book that I finish, because I know that it'll be the easiest thing to get out there, to be my first finished thing. So I'd been working on it like on and off throughout the year, and you know, I'd shown my writing buddy the chapters of it. But then recently, I started working on, it's coming out soon, by the way, this thing I'm about to talk about, so go subscribe to my second channel, ZealotPara Stories. I'd been working on a Silver and Blaze little fic, like audio drama thing, that's going on my other channel, and my writing buddy read that, and he was like, oh, this is like so much more like... Okay, I had to pull up the message to see what he said. He said the prose is more stylized and lyrical. Compared to what I've read of Madalena, there's vigor. I could sense a bit of burnout reading through Madalena, like going through the motions, but they said that my passion shined through for the Silver and Blaze thing. So that's just what I have to do with writing. I can't force myself to do like, I think Stephen King like writes every day or something. He has like a whole process, but it's like, that's the thing, that's Stephen King's process. I can't just work with somebody else's, like, I can't just work under somebody else's process, or like, you know, I know there's like general writing tips and stuff out there. Some of those just don't work for me. You know, I don't worry about like word count goals. Like, my motivation for writing comes from just the raw emotion of it. The what do I want to express right now, you know? The unfortunate thing is, some of these books that I've worked on that maybe I felt passionate about in the past, they might never get finished. Maybe I'll just never feel it again for those books. I will try every once in a while, because I will say sometimes when I force myself to write, good shit comes out of it. Because sometimes you never know when, and I think Richeh could learn from this. Sometimes you just gotta get into doing something. Sometimes you have to start off forcing yourself to do something that you're uncertain of, and then you might like that inspiration might hit you from there. So I just try to find a good balance of knowing, like, okay, I want to do this thing, but I'm not feeling particularly inspired to do it at the moment. Sometimes I just gotta force myself to do it. Like, hey, you know what? Let's just sit down. Let's try it. If it doesn't work out, at least I tried. Other times, it's like, I gotta be like, okay, I've been trying to force myself to do this way too much. I need to take a step back and just do nothing creatively. And just wait for the inspiration to strike me again. Sometimes, if I feel like I'm taking too long of a break, I'll try to start forcing myself again, and then it's like, oh, okay, things are starting to click again. It's all just about like a flow. Kind of just what I've found with the way I have to live life moving forward is, it's just about a flow. Sometimes, you know, it's a matter of, hey, this thing needs to get done. Let's just force myself into it, get it out of the way. Other times it's like, I just need to like turn my brain off and not force myself to do something, because the drive and motivation to do a thing is just going to naturally come to me without me trying to force it. So it's a bit of both. And yeah, Richeh definitely leans too far into the mindset of I'm only going to do exactly everything I want all the time. Ideally, be great if we could always do that, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. That's how you know Richeh is not an adult. She doesn't have adult responsibilities. But you know, on the flip side, there's adults or even kids like Euini who don't embrace their individuality and that freedom of choice, and they become miserable as a result. God, this is such a thematically rich episode. Like, it went by so fast, but there's so much to break down for this one. I say, yeah, Fork Found in Kitchen, a Witch Hat Atelier episode is thematically rich.
A combination of repetition and replication magic.
Oh, she's so happy.
It's your turn now.
Yeah, this is how I would react to if I was sharing even... like if I was within like even like 100-mile radius within Elira, I too would be shaking and flustered and like having a hard time breathing. I too would hide behind my cloak. In a perfect world, I'd be taking my clothes off around her, but you know, I'm not brave like that. I need to make a compilation of me thirsting over Elira. This might sound crazy for those that haven't seen Elena of Avalor, but Euini, I thought this earlier, but didn't say it. The concept of not being able to perform well under pressure reminds me of a character from Elena of Avalor, Armando. He's like the new chief of the castle, and he does a great job. But there's an episode where like his brother visits when Armando is trying to organize a fair, and it's revealed that pretty much any time he's had his brother over his shoulder like judging him and making fun of him, he just fails royally. And Armando just kind of had to learn to find the confidence to be the Armando that everyone else knows who he is, and not the pathetic like boy failure that his brother sees him as. He needed to learn to see himself as that Armando even when his brother's around. So I sense a similar thing for Euini. He needs to learn how to be as confident drawing in public as he is in private. Because he is clearly very good at it. As Agat said, he has like encyclopedic knowledge, but he also needs to learn to be a little more free like Richeh. Easier said than done, by the way. I'm not gonna sit and be like, oh, well, just be more confident, of course. Like, I'm the last person that should be saying that. By the way, chat, let this be a call to action. If y'all are in a situation where you have to do something very specifically, y'all say fuck that shit, do it the way you want to. Now be open-minded. Maybe sometimes it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it the way it's supposed to be done in this case because it'll be most beneficial for everyone. However, also keep an open mind to like, this might be better for me if I do it my way and try to figure out a new way of doing it. Just a little call to action for you.
No one's disgusted, or laughing, or judging me.
That maybe you got a little bit. She's not judging him so much as she's just wanting him to do well. Oh, I didn't notice before the reflection was like laughing maniacally. You only see Euini's eyes in like pivotal emotional moments for him. Good and bad. Euini. Okay, that sounds better than Euini. Euini. Euini.
The casting seal.
Dude, is that blackface? I thought it earlier, but I didn't say it. Thought it again, I was like, fuck it, I'll say it now. This isn't just a solution for this particular test. He can do this moving forward. Now, to be fair, I don't think Euini needs to prove himself to Kokoro at all. He just needs to... Dude, why is Euini with fucking Cuckold? I'm gonna start calling him Cuckold now. Fucking Kokoro. Dude, just bring him to Kifri's Atelier. It seems like people can swap ateliers pretty easily, can't they? Well, no, because Kokoro was complaining about that before. I wonder how Agat and Richeh ended up with Kifri. Because apparently they can't just, like, swap, but it seems like that's what happened with them, so I'm not sure how that works. Either way, I hope Kokoro, like, dies or something. That'd be cool. Because Euini, doesn't need to prove himself to Kokoro. He only needs to prove himself to himself. However, I think moving forward, Euini should use this shadow spell to hide himself more so he can, you know, perform better under pressure and be like, hey, you know what? I can't be seen, you know, type shit. Whether Kokoro's even gonna let him do that, I don't know. But again, if Kokoro just like died, that'd be cool. Although I feel like we've all been there before, where like we're in a shitty like living situation or whatever, and it's like can't really blame ourselves for like the shitty people that are around us. Like I'm not even gonna lie, there have been times where it's like I wouldn't mind if they just like died or something, you know. I probably would regret thinking that way if it actually did happen. I would have anyway. I'm not in that situation right now, but I have been in that kind of situation before where it's like I was in constant proximity of people that made my life kind of miserable, and there wasn't really anything I could do about it. So it's just a matter of like, can they just like go away? My life would be so much easier if they weren't, because they're just like an unnecessary, like there's an unnecessary, unfair, just negative presence in my life. They just need to go away. Unfortunately, we don't always have control over that, so we kind of just have to try to do the best we can in those circumstances. It's unfortunate. I do hope that Euini's story revolves around that, like trying to do your best despite a situation like that you can't really change. Because I think that's important. That's an important topic to touch on, and I know there are stories that are touched on that, but I can't think of any examples. I wish I could, but yeah, if y'all know any examples, definitely leave a comment of examples of characters who are in situations that they really can't. Specifically, like, I guess you could think like, oh, it's like, you know, like Attack on Titan, where like they're stuck in the walls and the Titan thing. You could use that as an example, but I'm specifically talking about like smaller scale, where it's like person is in situation with person and they can't get away from person. They have like no choice. Like they genuinely can't. Like it's basically impossible for them to get away from the other person. However, they're trying to do the best they can despite that situation. Oh, you know what? I made a whole video essay about this. Hinowa from Gintama, whatever that arc was called, the Yoshiwara and Flames arc. I made a video about that. I mentioned my second channel earlier. Yeah, go check my second channel out for that. I've got a playlist of Gintama videos. Yeah, I actually touched on that subject in that video. So, hey, there you go. I've already deep dived into that. Something else I'm seeing in Euini I was thinking about this earlier. But it's something I've thought about long ago. I say long ago, really only within the last few years. Something that's gotten me out of the lowest points in my life is, I don't mean to toot my own horn when I say this, but I'm too smart to stay down. I'm too smart to let my problems keep me down forever. I'm too smart to let the same things about myself bother me forever. I'm always going to converge on improving myself. I've learned that about myself. Like, I've been in some incredibly dark places in my life. Like, just like feelings of complete hopelessness, but in those states of just feeling like literally being at the bottom, I've always worked myself out of it and always figured out a way to improve myself. And I feel like Euini is like that too, where it's like me, he's a problem solver. Like he always needs to be doing, like he always needs to be doing something to like solve a problem. That can lead to stress, like seeing everything as a problem to be solved can lead to some unhealthy mindsets on some things. I definitely know that from experience, but yeah, I can see that here with Euini where he said like, even if I do give up before I even try something, I'm not gonna leave it at that. Like that's his brain firing on all cylinders of like, you know, even if I do give up, I'm gonna try to crawl out of it, basically. Yeah, very cool. I like how I started this episode with being like, yeah, I'm still having a hard time picking up on why Richeh is the way she is. All we needed was that one little flashback of that teacher witch, I can't think of the word, I'm so sorry, putting pressure on her and telling her like, these are horrible, throw these away, they're trash. That's all I needed. Now I get it. Now I get Richeh. Same thing that happened to the god. All we needed was that little flashback, that little peek into a god's mind in that one episode, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get why she is the way she is. Yeah. So these tests, and Kifri knew this. These tests literally encourage Richeh to find her individuality. Previously, she thought, you know, like Euini, where it's like, you know, the test is meant to be taken a specific way. No, I mean the at least this second test. Well, actually, the first one too did for Coco, but yeah, these tests encourage you to find your individuality, even if maybe like the broader witch society doesn't necessarily intend it that way. There are people that see it like that. Although I guess it's not so much that the tests encourage it; it's more that like that's just life. Like there's always a way to find your own way around a situation, even if it's not ideal. It's just a matter of like trying to embrace your individuality despite an obstacle in your way that at first might make it seem like it's trying to take away your individuality, which I think is a response that it's an initial response to a lot of us have to challenges in life, because it feels like there's constantly things and people coming at us trying to force us to not be ourselves, to not embrace our individuality. And so our immediate reaction to challenges is, oh, this thing's trying to do that to me, which is very much how Richeh thinks. But if we keep an open mind, we might realize like, hey, wait a minute, no, I can be myself in this situation. You know, angry. Okay, yeah, they translated it the same way. Wait, what did she say? Why aren't the fucking subtitles working? Lately, has he mentioned? Whoa, wait, what was Alara trying to talk about? I completely missed that last time. What was she trying to bring up? So the music went fucking crazy here. I guess they're throwing the hat as like a warning for the others outside. Crazy work. Okay, next episode is the finale. I think I've pretty much touched on everything this episode. It feels like I'm not spending as much time on the breakdown, but it's just because I've learned to interweave the reaction, at least the dub reaction, with the breakdown. So while it feels like less, this is actually one of my longest recordings so far, which is crazy. So in the moment it feels like less for me, but it actually is like, it's about the same amount as I did before. It just doesn't feel like it because there's less steps to get to the same point. I guess, the way I'm doing these videos now. Yeah, I'm really proud of the things that I said this episode. So, I woke up at 4 a.m. today. It's been probably over 12 hours since then. Almost 12 hours since then. I've earned myself a nap. I probably should have taken a nap before we're doing this recording, but, I was just way too excited. I don't think I could have slept well knowing I haven't recorded yet. So now that I've recorded, take my time to edit, put the video out when it's ready. And, yeah. So, hope you enjoyed my breakdown there. I'm really proud of the things that I said there. It was pretty big brain if I do say so myself. It's not just me though, it was the episode. The episode presented me the opportunities to think deeply like that, so W episode. But yeah. I will see y'all next week for the final Witch Hat reaction video. I think I'm going to put out a poll around that time, asking y'all what we should react to next. I've got a few different ideas. I think I'm just going to do like a poll of like one-off things. The Jurassic Park thing, I don't think that's going to be... Maybe I should put that on the poll, actually. Yeah, I think I will put it on the poll, because that's going to be quite time-consuming recording that. Because it's just going to be the first movie. It's going to be all 3 movies. Because there are no Jurassic movies after the first 3. Those are my goats. The other ones are fucking trash. But yeah, I think I'll put out a poll asking what y'all would like to see me react to next. I've got a few ideas, but I think I'll put that out next week. I think right now it's too early. And yeah, I've been reading One Piece on stream. When I have been able to stream, my health has been kind of pretty bad lately, so I had to miss a whole week of streams recently. I've been reading One Piece for the first time on stream. I might be playing through Deltarune at the end of the month for the first time. Yeah. Good stuff ahead. I do apologize if I have to cancel stuff, or if stuff comes out later than usual. Like I said, my health has just been not very good lately because of the weather and other circumstances, but it is what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and remember that art is magic.